One must make the warrior walk his everyday walk. Miyamoto Musashi. That means, my friends, you're always serious. You're always practicing for the real thing. Let's jump into these charts. I am at sea using Starling to upload, and I'm going to do this as fast as I can because it could take me a while to upload this video. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. In fact, everything is up for the day except Bitcoin, and I am short Bitcoin, and it's made me another 7% or so, which is beautiful. We're going to jump into the S&P first, up a little over 0.5%. As we look at the S&P, we can see that we have reached a higher high this week. Two-day chart is looking pretty decent. That's, again, finished drawing. Markets were closed, of course, Thursday, open Friday, and again, went up. We can look at the half day. It was up now for 2.5 days. I was getting worried about markets as they were slipping sideways. I mean, it had a little volume there, and again, could have been a top back on the 27th when we started seeing that on the Thursday, Friday of last week, and then started the week off with another spinning top. But then the Wednesday, Thursday popping up quite nicely. In fact, that move up started on Tuesday afternoon. So a good week for the S&P, still long. Now the Qs is where our trade was because we had the proper turnaround. We have been riding this baby since sometime around the worst point we would have gotten in that entire week was 435.79. That was our jump in week. And of course, we are now up to a high of 496.49. Is that a pretty good run for you? It's a damn good run, and we are thankful for it. Up over 1% today. Look at that big two-day candle, higher high this week, well above the weekly trend line on both the half day and the two-day. Still long the NASDAQ, and it has been beautiful to us. Don't have a trade here on TLT. Again, as we watched the way that it has tried to move up, we didn't have any move here at all. However, were you paying attention as to what it did? We had an interim high with high volume with a doji, not typically the way we like to see things high out. And it was higher. Let's see, 94.54, 94.25, so almost the same, and then rotated over. Now, again, I am a stickler to wanting things to be as perfect as possible because I don't have to trade, and I'm not going to trade anything that just doesn't make me feel really good and give me the proper rules being followed. But again, you had high volume last week. You had things rotate over this week with average volume. When I say high volume, it was average both last week and this week, just touching it. And of course, we had a rotation over. Now, it is up for the day about 0.86%. It wouldn't be my ideal of jumping into something like this. When you look at the half-day chart, it's already up for 2 days, and you have a doji there. But again, those of you who wanted to push it, you could say, well, I think it's going to keep going down. It's a lot of indecision there. Don't have average volume here. Had average volume going down, average or above average on the last two-day candles. We clearly have broken the trend. But again, I've not been into bonds since we had this beautiful run up all the way back in October of last year through the end of the year. Absolutely gorgeous. Did well in that. So I wouldn't call it. Some of you might. What do we see going on with gold? Up 1.39%. Now, as we look at gold, nice big green up candle on the 2-day. But again, don't even hardly get up to average volume there. Have no volume backing up any of these moves for weeks on end. We have to go all the way back to the end of April to have average volume. So nothing's helping us out here. I'm not in gold. Trying to figure out what gold's going to do. I don't know. I'm staying away from it until it straightens its act out. Now, lastly, we will look at Bitcoin down 6.27% right now. My trade on BITI up another 7%. Again, a beautiful week for this. You can see it better on the half day. That is where I sold the first half. I let the rest of it ride. Got a little question in here, and then it took off again and made me another 7% or so. So absolutely beautiful. And of course, when you do double the average true range on the 2-day, of course, you don't feel bad about selling everything. Again, thanks so much for your comments as to what you thought I should do on that. I stayed in and, of course, was happy to have done so. And again, as we look at Bitcoin, all this energy taking it down, that's fine. We want it to pull back cleanly and at some point reset and get ready to move back up. And again, hoping to see some volume here on the weekly chart. Now that we had it, it took us 20 weeks with this new ETF to get it. And we want to see much more volume with a turnaround at some point. That's where we are. Thank you so much for being with us. Hope that you have a great weekend. As I said, I'm at sea in the Adriatic. I'm using Starlink to be able to upload these to you, and I'll continue to do so for you each and every day, God willing. All the best, my friends.